Okay, so I've got my groceries and I'm just waiting for my freebie ride to arrive. Okay, I think I overdid it for the load. Hopefully the dinghy will handle it. And the waves aren't too crazy out there. So yeah, this is my load in my little wagon. I love this little wagon. It works good. Got water, that's what's taking up most of the room. So yeah. Alright, wait for my ride. At Winn-Dixie. Key Biscayne. Okay, well now I'm back in the dinghy. Okay? So back in the dinghy, going back to the boat. Going back to Blue Dancer here. Loaded down. So water, groceries. Yeah. On my way back. Let me see if I can turn it. Okay. Gorgeous day, really. Not bad at all. They said the waves were going to die down some, so they did. So, yeah. Okay, so we're leaving, headed to Lake Worth up by Palm Beach, Riviera Beach, somewhere up that way. About 71 nautical miles north of here. So it's going to be an all-night passage. So reason being is the weather will be more favorable through the night up there. Alright, bye-bye, No Name Harbor. A lot more boats in here last night came in. And they left for the Bahamas. There's still quite a few boats in here. Not as many as there was over the weekend. It was a crazy weekend, I'm telling you. Sunday was awful. Okay, for me to try to do stuff on the boat, oh lordy no. Walked around so much with well, we are headed north. I have left No Name Harbor, Key Biscayne, and we are headed to Lake Worth Inlet, which is Palm Beach, Palm Beach and Riviera Beach. Been in there before. I stopped there on my way down. So, as you can hear, no motor running, no engines running. So we are sailing. We're doing almost 5.9 to 6 something knots. So almost, well, a little bit better than a beam reach, probably coast to coast haul. But we're doing pretty good. I have no hurry. I have all night to sail to get there. So as long as I get there by 8:15 to get into the inlet, I'll be good. So in the morning. And I think it's probably Must be 4:30ish or nope, 5 o'clock. So I'm a little slow. 5 o'clock. So yeah, woo! I'm gonna show you. We are sailing. Probably need to tighten up a little bit on the head sail, but hey, we're going for the moment. Yeah, not heeled over too bad for that amount of speed. Not heeled over a little, but there we go. Miami going by. Key Biscayne is over that way. Those buildings, mostly condos. Most people live there. Over here we got the tall buildings of Miami. So yeah. So happy to be sailing. Oh my God, yes. And the seas are not ridiculous. I keep my mouth quiet. So we should be good all the way there. We have some crappy stuff coming. I'm not looking forward to that. That's why I decided to leave today, because there's no way I would go anywhere on late Tuesday or Wednesday, probably until Thursday. So I might be there at Lake Worth for a little bit. But here we are. I gotta straighten out that sail. But yeah, it's cool, isn't it? Ooh, quiet. Yes, just the sound of the water. This is an overnight passage all the way to Lake Worth Inlet. Okay, so sometimes, oops. Okay. My lens was dirty, sorry. Anyways, so sometimes you have to avoid big ships coming when you cross the channel, okay? Coming out of, like this one right here, coming out of Miami. So here we go. I had to kind of sail parallel with it so that I could let it get past in the channel, and then I come up behind it. So here you go. We're going to turn you around. You can see. Okay, so there's a big ship right there, and it's a cruise ship. And they always smell good when they go by. I wonder if they just sprayed the whole boat with a flowery scent. I don't know. It just feels like I can smell that flowery scent. Must be my imagination. So anybody who's never been on a cruise ship, tell me what it smells like. So I've never been on a cruise ship. I have sailed across the Pacific, yes, to Taiwan twice, but it was on a military naval ship. So yeah, I've never been on a cruise. We're still sailing. Woo-hoo. Yes, we are still sailing. Go wherever direction, basically. It looks like he's turned to the north. And there's some boats over there anchored. Freight ships. It's a container ship and had no containers on it. So all the skeleton frame for the containers was on it, and it just loomed at me out of the dark. It was kind of scary for a second. Okay, so our winds have died down. I'm still sailing, and I'm just doing 4.5 knots, but my true wind or apparent wind has dropped down to 7.4 and 6. We're still on a beam reach now. I'm kind of going back in towards the land, the coastline. And so we'll just see how long we can do this. I think the wind is dying down to clock around. It may start to come out of the southeast after this, so may have to end up motoring. Yeah, that's the way it goes. It's almost time for the sun to set, and passage at night, I always meet one way or the other coming at me. They're never going with me, they're coming at me, and this is a tugboat with a tow. It's towing, which sometimes I've seen him towing 3 or 4 barges, but this guy's only got one. So he's towing. And I always seem to, but at least this one I'm in the daylight. I have met some of them in the dark, and you really have to look at the lights to find out if they're a towing vessel. I had to ask one guy if he was towing because I could just get a glimpse of it in the shadows of the night, and he was. So, okay. This is how it is. We are just kind of scooting along here. Not very fast. We're going to really be dropping down here now. Trying to figure out, we're coming up on I don't think we're up here to Fort Lauderdale yet. Oh, no. It is up here. Huh. I know it's not Hollywood, but we're south of Hollywood, Florida. So, because there is some condos, that might be North Miami up here. And because my chart plotter doesn't always name the towns. So, and I know we're in between Hollywood and Miami. So, Surprise Lakes and Miami Beach. So we're just kind of like North Miami is where we are. We're not that far out of Miami. Still proceeding north. Headed for Hollywood. And then we get up here and we'll get up to Fort Lauderdale. Boynton Beach. All those little lovely places. So, might be a pretty sunset tonight. What do you think? Yeah. Yeah, we really slowed down from 4.8 to 3.8 knots. Okay. Well, we're still sailing though. And here. Lena, what are you doing? Huh? First mate is being lazy all day today. She hasn't done anything. She's just finally ventured out for a moment. Now she won't stay out long. But she should be happy that the seas aren't too bad today. Right? Huh? Look at that pretty face. Look at that pretty face. Lena! Lena! Look at the pretty face. Yes. Oh, yeah. Look at it. She's like, okay, it smells different. We're in a different place. Yes. Do I need to grab that line right there? Keep everything good? Yeah, you might. You need to grab that line. Keep a watch. Keep a lookout. Alrighty, catch you later. Bye. I don't even know if you can see me. Really. It's dark. And I had to watch out for a tugboat towing a barge, and so the barge doesn't have any light except for at the very tail, like a train on the caboose, you know, the tail end of the train, since they don't have caboose anymore. They have a light, and that is the end of the barge. Hopefully he doesn't have another one that he's towing. But yeah, so he crossed my path. I had to slow down. He was actually only doing like 3.8 knots, and I had to slow down to 4 knots because I was doing better than 6. So I'm motor sailing now. Lost my wind. I think it's starting to clock around to the south. Pretty much just kind of going back and forth from southeast. All right, I want to turn you around because we're going past the beautiful city lights here, and I don't know if they'll show up. Maybe when I enlarge, do a close-up, you'll be able to see the city lights. There's the barge up there. You can see his light. It's pretty bright. And then the light behind him as the end of the barge. And I can kind of see the silhouette of it myself. That's a pretty good sized barge. I'm always afraid to run into those tow lines. Just make sure they don't haul any more than one. I've seen more than one. Hey everyone, it is morning, almost. The sun has not come up, but it is showing colors as it comes up, because it will be up soon. So I'm just kind of tootling around out here. I kind of made a return trip back towards Key Biscayne just for about a mile or so. Against the current. I'm still sailing just with the mainsail because I was getting here way too early to go in there, and because I think I'm going to just anchor and then get fuel and all that other stuff later at 2 o'clock when there's 0 current this afternoon. So I'm going to turn you around and show you the sky. The sun is not quite up yet, but she's definitely working on it. And we are headed, I think how far am I? Oh, 6.1 miles from the anchorage, but from the inlet probably about 5 miles. Probably about a mile and a half maybe to the anchorage once you get in the inlet. So yeah, West Palm Beach over there, and around the other side of that little strait is where I'll be anchoring, on the other side of all them lights right there. I don't know, I think they're dredging on this side because there was a whole bunch of dredge boats further south of here, maybe about a little bit more than that, probably 15 miles back south of here. They've been dredging, I guess. That's what those were showing up on the AIS. They were dredge boats. So I don't know, you know, I've seen these lights along the shore here, so I don't know if they're dredging here as well. I don't know. I can't see in the dark. And And they're not, those guys aren't showing up on my AIS, so I'm not sure what they are. All right, well, we'll be in there, and I'll be able to go to bed for a little bit before I get fuel and stuff. I'm gonna anchor and then go and get fuel and all that good stuff. Well, we made it. Well, not quite. We're still on the outside of the inlet, and we're headed into the Lake Worth Inlet. I had to wait for this cargo ship that was coming up on my tail real fast to go ahead and go through the inlet because he was really coming down hard on me. So I just waited outside. And in the meantime, I was waiting for daylight. I went ahead and dropped my mainsail and pulled in the head sail. And so that was all done. I didn't have to worry about doing that amongst all the chaos in the middle of this inlet. When you get on the other side, it's still very busy. A lot of cargo ships for Tropicana, and a lot of power boats, a lot of fishing boats coming in and out of there real quick. So I decided to do that all out there. It's easier, especially when you're single-handing, to pre-plan and do all that crazy out where it's calmer and you don't have to worry about running into anything or anything running into you. So, but I'm here, yay! Okay, I found a good place to anchor. It was pretty open, almost in the exact same spot where I anchored when I was here previously. And so I let out the anchor and chain, and I'm about 11 to 12 feet of water, so I let out the 24-foot mark and let the boat grab, or the anchor grab. And then I wait, and I know that it's staying there. I go ahead and let out another, 25 feet or so. And then I kind of do it in stages. I ended up letting out a total of a little over 75 feet, just because I didn't know whether it would be in storms or not that were approaching, and whether I'd still be here when those storms hit. So I already have a good amount of scope out, or chain out as well. So yeah, so we're here. Yay. And it was a great passage, a very good night passage. I sailed, I would believe, about 90% of the way here, even making a U-turn and sailing against the Gulf Stream. I thought I did pretty good, and then turn back around and then come in here when it got daylight. So yeah, it was an all in all, it was a good night sail. And so I'm ready for bed, and then get back up at around 12:30ish or so to get ready to pull anchor again, and then go and get fuel and water, which I much needed. Water. I am down to probably 10 gallons in one tank. I don't even know if I even have that much in there. It might be 5 gallons. And the other tank is empty of fresh water. So I've been using bottled water when I can go to shore and get it. So yeah, whew, it was fun. And while you're here, hit like, and definitely subscribe. And thanks for watching. And I love you. Bye. have attached the anchor bridle, I will go back to the cockpit and I will put the boat in reverse, and I will bring it up to roughly 12 to 1500 RPMs and check to make sure I'm secured, that the anchor is holding.